then we all did. It was all small game, so it was like quail, squirrels, rabbits, that type of thing. And I just like tagging along with him. I never. Uh, I was actually like the one that would help him flush the birds if it was just me and my dad or something. I never had a gun. I never carried a gun at that time when I was
Right.
little. But yeah, I just kind of fell in love with it, and then I went off to college and kind of stopped, and then ended up dating a guy who was a big fisherman, big bass fisherman. Kind of got me into that, and then and from there more into like deer hunting, and then I started when I met Blake. Like he was really big into all like every season, and so I started archery hunting, like got into bow hunting and stuff with him, and it kind of just took off from there. I just everything just
Wow.
totally fell in love with it. So,
Super cool.
but yeah,
So how's that? So I mean, you get started, and that's pretty cool. Just dad taking you along,
yeah,
because you don't see a lot of women hunters,
right.
and it's kind of
It's
you're kind of
definitely
blazing.
getting more
You do
popular
more
now.
now.
You're blazing
Yeah.
that trail though to a certain extent, right?
Yeah, I try to. Well, so when I was a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian, like grow up and be a veterinarian. I was all into
Missed that one.
animals and taking care. Yeah, no, right?
Hey, I know one that's a veterinarian. She would probably say you made the right choice. So you're okay.
Well, and I grew up like my second dad was Doc Kennedy over at Hilltop, and so I was always
yeah.
at his place too.
Oh
But
yeah.
but growing up with my dad, like all we ate was a lot of wild game and stuff too. So that's always been a big part of my life. Like
Mm.
I grew up with, venison was a thing, beef. Like I'm still not used to the taste of like ground beef over ground venison. It's
Oh, yeah.
just one of those
Yeah.
things you grow up with, and kind of it's always been a part of my life. But I will say that I didn't really get into hunting myself until after college. And so I grew up, yes, going with my dad, quail hunting. Like I remember squirrel hunting with my dad, and just we go and sit at the base of a tree, and like I would help him look for squirrels, but I'd pick up an acorn and throw it and just pretend it was a squirrel like moving around. I was like, Dad, what was that? That was a squirrel. And he'd like turn his head. But like those are great core memories that I
Oh
had.
yeah.
But yeah, like I didn't really become passionate about it until after college. And honestly, it kind of went hand in hand with I just love the outdoors. So I actually went to school for marketing, corporate communications, like had an office job and all of this. I ended up working at a big golf course in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And I loved it, but I was stuck inside all day. And I realized that I wanted to be outside working with the turf guys, right?
Oh yeah.
And I talked to them about it, and they were like, and that's a long story, a whole other story in itself. But I was like, man, just office work is not it for me. And fortunately, I did end up like coming home one weekend. I ran into Blake, and we started talking. Ended up working for him. Now we're married and all of this, and I've been doing lawn care with him for 12 years now. But so like one thing led to another, and I think just being outside, that kind of spurred my love for the outdoors, and that's kind of what helped lead me to where I am today. So not only with work, but also the hobbies and things that I'm interested
Oh
in.
yeah. Hell yeah.
So-
Being outside is
Yeah.
definitely one of my favorite things. Unless when it's like really stupid hot. I don't,
Or
what I mean?
really stupid
Cold.
Or really,
Yeah.
like right now, yeah, I've been in.
So you're talking about, I mean, not only we just, we're in this hunting conversation, but not only game that you would find around here,
Mhm.
you've also chased game elsewhere. I know we'll probably talk about the Africa trip, but you just came back from that.
Mhm.
You went to, was it Connecticut to get some kind of deer?
Maryland.
Okay, they're all
Sika.
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 Yeah.
never heard of it. I mean,
I mean, to be honest, I hadn't either until I went.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I went was because my friend was like, "Hey, do you want to go to Maryland with me?" And I'm like,
crab cakes and football.
"Why not?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crab cakes and
crab
football.
cakes and football.
No shit.
And they're actually kind of invasive there. So, but
Yeah.
I killed a stud. I was lucky. I got really lucky. Killed a stud stag, sickest stag. And they're like tiny elk. actually they're a
Little
type of
bitty
elk.
bastards.
Little bitty.
Do they have pearls? You know what I'm talking about? The elk pearls?
I don't know. And
Yeah, I
if
don't
they
know.
do, it's got to
It'd
be
be
tiny.
microscopic.
So they're
yeah.
really not that big at all, but they're in the
No.
elk family.
Actually, what happened was some guy brought these elk from Japan. He had like an island there near Maryland, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought them over to his island, and they were really good swimmers.
Son of a bitch.
He didn't know that.
No. So they're like, I believe they're like they came from Japan, I believe, and don't quote me on this.